Well, hello there, YouTube. All I hear is birds and mourning doves making their little coos out in the background. Nice and quiet. Everything's blooming. Magical time of year. Can we stay home today? Well, there, little woman.
Yes, ma'am.
We've had some parking rule changes. And one of them is to park on the side of the road, so
Yeah.
all the people that got here before us, make sure they take all the spots.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have yourself a wonderful Tuesday.
You too.
And I'll see you, as usual, throughout the day.
All right.
Maybe not for a while, because I still got testing to finish up.
All right.
Brought my MacBook with me, and that's what I'm going to do at first.
All right.
All right. Love you. See you. Bye.
Love you.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
All right. I was just joking around before, but seriously, what's going on here? Oh, I can't see the mountain. She's right there between those trees, if you can make out any of that. Mount Hood's top is missing at the moment. Can't believe the dust that's already on this thing. It's one of the things that freaks me out about black motorcycles. In this case, a Can-Am Spyder. Whoop. Turn the parky park off. How about this? Spyder Day. Got all my BRP training done. Got some alignments. Did get some tires changed on a GSA, but we've got a guy that's this little kid, smart as a whip too. It's awesome. So coached him through changing tires on a GSA, and he did really well. Showed him how to get into air and all that kind of good jazz. Let's see if we can find a different place to take a photo of it today. How about that? Just mix things up a little bit. Where's that sun at? How about this beautiful purple tree? How about that? We'll do something different today. Yeah, that looks kind of cool right there in those trees as well. Make sure no cars are sneaking up behind me. I seen somebody moving back there. I didn't know where they went. The purple tree with a green sack next to it. There's always, oh, it's like a little fertilizer bag for it. Oh, look at that. That might be pretty right there with that. We'll see. I'll be back here directly. Man, this Fuji X100V. What an animal. I love these kind of, it's kind of what I started out with, was a single focal length. It was an old Kodak. I think I've gone through those stories before, that my granddad gave me, which is really funny how he gave that to me. My Uncle Charles and Aunt Phoebe, my dad's sister, they got married, and he was in, I think he's in the Navy like my dad, for sure. He what do you call that, duty-free store or something. So he buys two of these Kodak cameras, which were super popular. It was like a kind of like a Leica copy, you know. So the Japanese were kind of getting into that stuff. Canon had them, but anyway, Kodak made their version of it, and my uncle gave one to my dad, and then of course he kept the one himself. I have a CD-ROM that he sent me. Unfortunately, year before last, he passed on. Awesome birthday. He goes, "You'll never forget my birthday." I said, "How's that, Uncle Charles?" He goes, 3/30/30. He goes, "Like the Winchester rifle." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cool." I'm watching you, pronto. You crazy people in your little Kia Souls. But anyway, So my dad had one, and then my dad, he wasn't really into these. I mean, it's 100% manual camera. So he ended up giving it to my granddad. Yeah, you know, on my dad's side. It was my dad's father. And gave it to him. And then years later, I want to say it was like 1976 or so, my granddad gave it to me because I was running around with them little 110, you know, the little Kodak Instamatic, is that what they called them? Had that crazy weird 110 film, and I was just like I fell in love with taking pictures. It all started with a Polaroid. Well, I wanted better quality than that, and oddly enough, the little 110s did a pretty amazing job. Then my granddad brings me that Kodak, and my dad, you know, what's funny is my dad it wasn't until my uncle, I think my dad just forgot about it, but my uncle come here for my dad's funeral, and he was asking me about that Kodak camera. So he tells me the story that he bought it, one for himself and one for my dad, and my dad gave it to granddad. I'm like, what the heck? I never knew that. My dad never told me that story. Probably one of those things just slipped your mind or didn't think it was important or whatever, you know. And so anyway, my uncle tells me, I told him that the shutter got stuck, and it was a leaf shutter, and it got stuck, you know, after all those years of taking pictures with it. So anyway, he goes, well, I still have the second one. So about a week or so after my dad's funeral, here it shows up in the mail. So I now have both of those Kodak cameras, and unfortunately his leaf shutter seized up just like the first one did, and looking at them both closely, they got exposed to moisture. Of course, you know, living in the South, if you don't keep that thing inside in a controlled environment, things get a little bad shape pretty quick with all the humidity and stuff down there. But anyway, I have both of those cameras. How cool is that? Anyway, this long story, I just like go off on a tangent, don't I? We got to take the beautiful springtime look at the Toyota parking lot. These trees are just getting all pretty and green and lush. But anyway, I'm kind of a, although I've done very little of it, I'm kind of a street photography buff, and I've always been a fan that those Kodaks, if I remember right, the focal length was a equivalent of, well, it was no equivalent, it was 35, because it used actual 35 millimeter film. So it was a 35 millimeter focal length, and I don't know, all the pictures I've taken with that Kodak is amazing. So much of old family photos and stuff like that, and I finally bought a Fuji STX1, my first SLR with interchangeable lenses and stuff. But I always just loved that Kodak, and I'd pull that thing out every once in a while. One time I pulled it out, the shutter stuck open, so needless to say, every shot was extremely unusable, overexposed. So here recently, or I guess it's been almost a year now, Fuji announced the newest version, the fourth or fifth version over the 10 years. When they first came out with that thing 10 years ago, I had to have one, but dang, it's so expensive, and you know, kids are still, were they still home? Maybe they were. But anyway, the newest one came out, and I just had to have it. So I don't know, it's been a couple months or I don't know how long it's been, and yeah, I'm just in love with this thing. And the quality, oh man, the quality is nuts. Absolutely nuts. You know what we didn't do? And I get in trouble with you guys every time I don't do this. I didn't walk around this thing. So anyway, I'm back to carrying a camera with me 100% of the time. Because the quality, I mean, phones do such a good job. Cameras, that's a whole nother realm. Just crazy. And I love that fixed 35mm equivalent. I can say equivalent with the Fuji because it's a APS-C sensor, which is you take whatever the lens is times 1.5. Well, some of them are 1.6. I don't know which one this is, but I think it's a 23mm lens, and because of the focal length, it's slightly smaller than full frame sensor. It's equivalent to 35. This is a 2021 late edition. You'll never see any of the previous ones unless they're in here used. Those are all then just gone. So everything we receive is built after January 4th, which means they're 2021 late production or late edition, however you want to pronounce it. And this thing is a dark edition. She is blacked out. I absolutely love that look, but I just can't deal with the stress of keeping that thing clean. But good looking, holy moly. I like the more open look to the spokes, those 5-spoke wheels. The F3 Limited. We've actually got a few of these things in here lately. I think we ended up ordering some more. We only ordered what they forced us to take, but some people are finding that they're not tall enough to ride the new RTs. They would take the RT, but it's just that brake is so far up there. I've seen some people do some, well, they've done some mods. It's working for them. But I think the F3s are still quite, you know, they're going to be popular still. It's definitely not an RT, but it has its own place for sure. It's not like there's anything wrong with them. God forbid. If there's anything wrong with them, BRP wouldn't be making it anymore, you know. But I think they're selling shockingly well still. Man, last year we just couldn't. I think the F3s we sold, we had to give them away. Well, now there's been a resurgence in them, I guess, which is cool. Sorry about the long camera story. You get me going about cameras and motorcycles and I just lose my mind. I can smell that dude's cigarette from the road out there. It's pretty crazy, huh? But she is black. Make sure you use a good polish and attend to her often. I wonder if I got room to drive it straight in. I'm thinking I probably do. Go ahead. Bikes first, huh? I'm just gonna land it out here. Look at that. I think that see the sky, man, every time the things come in, they go. 14 beeps, you can count them. New for 2021, the late edition anyway. And look at this today. I haven't worn my gifted. There are a few things that are new. Give me just a moment here. What's that? No, the design is literally identical. Since they came out with the dash, that was probably the last physical change in them. Alright, thanks for coming along for the ride. Well, hello there, YouTube. Holy moly. These beautiful evenings, I'm here to tell you. There was a spot between Kelso and Castle Rock that it almost looked like it was going to rain there for a little bit. Then we come over the rest area hill there, and it's been like this ever since.
It's
just
very pretty.
Beautiful. I love when the clouds give the skies texture, you know.
That's nice.
Cool stuff. So, yeah, very Can-Am Spyder Day today for me. And it's going to continue tomorrow as well. I've got maybe a couple more alignments, but I think I've got accessories to put on a Riker or something first thing in the morning. So, yeah, it kind of goes in waves. It's BMWs, it's Spyders.
Yeah.
That's the two things that I do most of the work on is Spyders and BMWs.
Yeah. It's your forte.
Yeah, and it's weird how they'll like stick with one or the other for a while. Then it spins back. By the time you guys get tired of one, it starts going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's a fun day, fun ride. Talking about a camera most of the time during the ride, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I had fun. I hope you did too.
Very good.
All right, on that, we gonna bounce.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and you guys have an amazing Wednesday or Thursday.
Heck yeah. All right. Till the morning.
We see you then.
All right. Thanks for watching now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.